Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with WinnersandWhiners.com coming to you with, not today in sports betting, but we're going to, let's move on to a different show. We're just going to call this our NASCAR show until we come up with a better name. By the way, if you have a better name for our NASCAR show, drop it in the comments section because we will be absolutely looking for a snappy, fun name for our NASCAR show. How about NASCAR Now, something like that? Scott, let's bring in Scott Reichel. Would you like NASCAR Now?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, yeah, it's the leader of the clubhouse, but it's not a great score. So we'll, but this is it. We're going to take a look at all the NASCAR picks between you and me and this third guy we're going to bring on. You know him, you love him. It's been a couple days since he's been here, so you probably missed him by now. It's Winning Willie, all the way from the great state of Mississippi. Willie, how are you?
What's going on, guys? We got a race at New Hampshire. Not a very big fan of this track, but let's break it down.
Monster Mile, baby. The Monster Mile. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. It's not really it's not a short track, and certainly not a mid track. It's just it's its own thing. So,
yeah, we got some diversity though. At least it's not another mile-and-a-half cookie cutter for the last month.
That's true. That is very, very true. This is a tricky track, man. This is a track that veterans tend to dominate, and new guys usually have to wait their turn until they get this figured out. So let's see if our picks reflect that, shall we? Just to recap, by the way, the Winners and Whiners Cup standings tightened up after Kansas. Willie is still trailing Reichel, but only by 13 points, while I was able to move myself a little closer to both of them, and am now just 40 points back of the lead. I'm just one good race away, guys. One good race away. So it should be fun as we get closer to the end of the season, as it should be. The race is tightening up. So, Willie, I know you're going to try to get back in the lead there for the Winners and Whiners Cup. Why don't you start us off? Give us your pick that's going to do that for you.
I'm looking at Martin Truex Jr. He's at 8-1 on DraftKings. He's been really good on this track in the past. He's never won here, which is really surprising to me because this is his type of track. This is he loves these kind of shorter tracks, as we've seen in the past. And I'll just take a shot with him at 8-1, given how he's been kind of right there on these types of tracks all year.
Yep, I like that pick. He's got 3 top 5 finishes in his last 4 starts there. Hasn't broken through for the victory in spite of leading over 330 laps over the last 4 races. So he's definitely had a car that's put himself in position to win. I think that's a solid pick. Scott, who do you have?
Well, after taking last week off, I'm officially back on the bandwagon. I'm going with Kevin Harvick as the first pick. He's starting 7th. It's pretty tough not to take the guy who has won this race each of the last 2 years. So I feel like he's kind of an auto bet for me. I know that according to most books, mostly around 4-1, give or take. FoxBet actually had 5-1. So I actually got a pretty good deal on that for Harvick. I know that it's not the most attractive pick to take chalk all the time. But when you've won this race each of the last 2 years, it's pretty tough to find a driver who's dominated this track more. So I'm going to go with Harvick.
No, Harvick and certainly have been good at this track and been good this season. I'm going to go with another guy that's had some success at this track. I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin at plus 450 on DraftKings. Scott, you got a better price on him anywhere?
I see 5-1 on FoxBet.
All right, I'll take.
Actually, I misspoke. Harvick was 5-1 on FanDuel. Hamlin is 5-1 on FoxBet.
Okay, all right, very good. He's got a win here. He's got 2 top 5s. This is a guy that knows how to get around the Monster Mile. I like Denny Hamlin. I'll take that. I'll take that extra 50 cent. I'll take him at plus 5-1. All right. All right, Willie. Who you got for the second pick?
Yeah.
Willie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard both of y'all at the same time there. Speaking of getting back on things after taking a break, I'm going to go Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch!
7-1. And I'll start this by saying that, yes, I do like Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin this week, but I'm not a fan of the price of either one of them. I feel like there's just not enough value there for me to get down on them. So I'll take Kyle Busch at 7-1. He's finished top 10 here the last 3 times. The last 3 races here, he's won here 3 races ago. Finished second 2 years ago, and then finished 8th last year. He knows this track. He runs it well, and yeah, I'll take a shot.
All right. All is right with the world. The sun comes up in the east, and Willie takes Kyle Busch. Very good. Scott, Kyle Busch, is he your second pick?
No. I feel like we're at the point in the season where even if Kyle Busch wins, you're still down units if you keep backing Kyle Busch.
Way down.
My second pick, I went really chalky this week. I'm not going to be shy to admit that. I took Denny Hamlin. And I know that I might have been looking at your notes, Scott, because we both have the same driver again for what feels like about the 5th week straight. But Hamlin's starting second. He's won this race 3 times, and he has an average finish of 9.88. I know it's classic chalk taking Harvick and Hamlin in any given race, but these two have been so far ahead of everybody else. Kyle Busch probably being in 3rd based on results here in the past, but I just can't trust Kyle Busch. Nope. So I think Harvick and Hamlin are miles ahead of everybody else on this track. I do agree with Willie, though, that Truex Jr. did have my eye for a little bit, but he's never won here, and it's pretty tough to take a guy to win a race when he hasn't actually done so before. It's not impossible, but it does make you feel great about it. He's very good at finishing in the top 5. I don't know about winning, but Hamlin and Harvick have won this race numerous times apiece, and you've had a couple of races over the last month and a half or so where Harvick was in 1st, Hamlin was in 2nd, then Hamlin was in 1st, Harvick was in 2nd. Seems like they're constantly in the top 5, and I feel like you have a very good shot of having at least one of those two being in 1st place in the final 10 laps. So my second pick is going to be Hamlin at 5-1, and that is available on Fox Bet.
All right, very good. I'm going to go with Martin Truex for my.
Could I have gone any chalkier? That's the real question. The answer is no. The answer is I could not have gone chalkier.
No, you couldn't have. I threw just a little bit of dust in the air there. I'm going to go with Willie and take Martin Truex at 8-1 for all the reasons that we talked about. Very, very successful at this track. A lot of experience. No victories yet, but that just means he's due.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one before.
Give me Truex 8-1. He runs good here. He's going to break through and get the victory on Sunday. I feel good about that. All right, Willie, who's your long shot this week?
Well, I took a very good long look at Daniel Suarez at 500-1 just because of how well he's drove on this track. But I just don't like the equipment he's in this year. So I'm gonna go with Old Faithful and Eric Almirola at 16-1.
I thought Old Faithful was going to be Jimmy Johnson.
It could have worked either way there, but
Yeah.
we've all had a pretty decent success when taking Almirola this year. I mean, he's been super consistent, been right there towards the top of the field, and he's drove decently on this track in the past. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take that at 16-1.
All right, solid. Scotty, you find a long shot you like?
I did, and it's actually going to be the same long shot that I had last week. I'm going to take Eric Jones. And a couple reasons why. He's starting 17th, not ideal on this track, but it could be worse. Eric Jones I found available at 35-1 on FanDuel. Was at 30-1 at one book, was at 32-1 on another book. I found 35-1, which is a pretty solid deal there. He's finished in the top 6 in each of his last 2 races. So he hasn't won or anything, but he has been very close in the last couple of races, and he's been hovering around that top 5 spot. And he's also finished top 6 in 2 of his last 3 trips here. So even though this has been a race dominated by the older guys, Eric Jones is one of those rare younger guys who actually has had some consistent success on this track. And you're getting him at 35-1. He's going to be, of course, a member of the Joe Gibbs family, and all those drivers basically run well here. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him being at the front, potentially having a teammate pushing him behind in the later laps if he's ahead of Hamlin or Kyle Busch, for example, etc. So I think in some of these restarts that you might end up getting, he should get a decent push if he's ahead. And I think Joe Gibbs is probably going to dominate this race. So for that reason, I think there's some value at Eric Jones at 35-1.
All right, very good. Yeah, I looked at Eric Jones as well, but I instead went to the well along with Willie. I'm going to go with Eric Almirola at plus 1,600, guy that's run well here. I'm going to just that's going to be the third of my very unexciting picks here.
It always seems like we have overlap nowadays.
Yeah, a lot. I've overlapped with all of you guys. I've got Hamlin with Scott, and I've got Truex and Amarola.
You can't make up deficits if we constantly, handicap your progress.
Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay, well, thanks for putting it out there. Yep. That's going to be our picks for the week. So, to recap, I've got Hamlin, Truex, and Almirola. Willie has Truex, Kyle Busch, and Almirola. Scott has the H boys, Harvick and Hamlin, and Eric Jones.
Yes. I have a quick question for the long shots, by the way. Why do both of you like Almirola in this race? Just because he's on the pole?
That's a big part of it for me. And honestly, when you look at the odds, there was a big drop off. Almirola was listed as 16-1, and then everybody else is pretty much 30-1 or better. And I really felt that he was really the only one that was in the price range that qualified as a long shot that I was excited about.
That's fine. I'm just acknowledging that Almirola hasn't had much success here in the past. I know he finished in third here in 2018. He's only had 3 top 10 finishes here, and he's been in this race since 2008. He has like an average finish of like 19.65. So I was kind of curious if there was anything that stuck out to you about Almirola.
He's due.
Oh, okay.
Willie, what do you think?
Well, I just think, he's having he's having a career year by far, and he's been right there this year. In every single race, it seems like he's right there, top 5. I will say him being on the pole did kind of scare me away a little bit, but I still think he's consistent enough to at least churn out a top 5.
Well, I actually have one question that I want to ask, just food for thought. Since we're getting closer and closer to the actual chase for the championship, you have a couple of drivers who are fighting for that final spot. Eric Jones, for example, Jimmy Johnson, Will Byron's also there. Do you think any of these long shot drivers who are currently out of the actual placings for the playoff, so to speak, have some value to win races because they are going to be doing all they can to actually win the races in order to automatically qualify, or no?
Yeah, I think that has to factor in for sure.
That's why I kind of like Eric Jones, because he's still on the cusp of making it, but if he wins the race, you don't have to worry about sweating it out for the last handful of races in the regular season.
Yeah, that's a good point. Willie, what's your theory on that?
Well, that's why I'm still beating the dead horse of Kyle Busch, honestly, just because he's to the point now where he's going to have to win one soon. And we've mentioned this, it seems like 3 months ago now that, that he's due for something to happen.
Right.
Apparently, the only thing he's been due for is the truck in the Xfinity Series, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, not good at all. And I keep thinking along the same lines as Willie that Kyle Busch is just too good to keep down, too good not to get a victory this season. It is.
I just don't. I think the odds continue to just misprice him based on his name. Now, of course, they've started to adjust a little bit because I think if Kyle Busch was running his normal self, he'd probably be closer to 5.5 to 1, maybe 6 to 1 here.
I think he would be a co-favorite here. I think he could even be, down in the Hamlin Harvick price area.
But at what point do you look at Kyle Busch? I know it's not the same as a golf tournament, for example. But at what point do you just start treating him like Tony Finau? And you just start saying, well, odds makers love him. He's always going to be towards the top. Never wins anything. And people are going, well, there's value here, but he never wins. And I know that Kyle Busch has been a tremendous racer historically, and he's won a ton of races in his career. But at some point, there's a little bit of a gambler's fallacy in there where you think you're getting value with Kyle Busch because of what the price normally would be, but he's never actually winning races.
Right.
So you kind of have to play devil's advocate there.
Well, and if you watch NASCAR careers, this is kind of the point in the career where the slide maybe starts a little bit. Jimmy Johnson's a classic example of that. Somebody that has same equipment, has high quality equipment, and just doesn't seem to quite have that edge anymore. I don't think that's the case of Kyle Busch. I just think it's been a weird anomaly for him this season. I don't think he's on the I don't think he's on the downhill slide.
I agree. I just think it's food for thought because it's a pretty unique and interesting season for Kyle Busch that people have kind of noticed. I've been trolling about it for a couple of months, but in reality, I think everybody would have been shocked if I told you that Kyle Busch was not going to be winning a race at this point in the year.
Oh, no question. No question about it, especially the dominating year that he had last year. So,
yeah.
All right, so let's check out some props. I'll get the props going. Kind of ties into what we were talking about. I'm going to take Truex over Kyle Busch. at minus 106. I'm going to fade Kyle Busch just about every chance I get, and this is going to be another one of those opportunities as I get a good race car driver that has a great chance to win against Kyle Busch, playing a short price at minus 106.
So just to interrupt there right now, I have Martin Truex over Kyle Busch, and I got it at plus 120 on Fox Bet. So I'll take the plus money to the bank.
You get a plus 120?
Yeah, I saw that last night. I was originally hesitant to take it, but when you get plus 120 in comparison to minus 106, I feel like you're kind of obligated to take the extra 26 cents of value there.
Yeah, that's solid. I would have I'd have a hard time beefing with that. I'm going to go ahead and pump myself up to plus 120 on that play. All right, very good. Willie, you want to tell us why you took Truex over Kyle Busch?
You know, I actually didn't. I left that alone just for the simple fact that was my my picks, honestly, more than anything. Although that would definitely be the way I would play that matchup. And I'm not a big fan of most of the odds of these matchups that DraftKings have out this week. Most of them are pretty much basically pick'ems, you know, laying juice either way.
I think Fox Bet's honestly the move if you want to look for very solid matchups for prices. Their prices are off all the time.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. I like Jimmy Johnson minus 110 over Alex Bowman, just because Johnson's been, as we mentioned here, Johnson's been really good on this track in the past. Granted, he's not the same he used to be, 3-4 years ago?
Right.
But at the same time, Bowman is not good on this track. He's never really had much success here. And Jimmy's been running really well, I'd say, here lately, despite, for some reason, getting wrecked out within 10 to 15 laps to go. So, you know, I think Jimmy's going to at least finish higher than Bowman this week.
Okay. All right. I think that's I think that's solid. I'm not I would always tend to lean experience over youth at this track in particular. And in that vein, I'm going to give you my next pick, and that's going to be the Blue Deuce of Brad Keselowski over Ryan Blaney, minus 118. Keselowski's had some success here. Blaney has not run bad here for a youngster, but I do think that Keselowski's got a little better equipment, and I like him in this spot. Give me Brad Keselowski minus 118 over Ryan Blaney.
Well, to segue from that one, I have another matchup prop. This one involves Ryan Blaney, and I'm actually going to be on his side. It's Ryan Blaney over Chase Elliott, and it's available at plus 100 on Fox Bet. Elliott's only finished better than 11th here once in 6 trips, and Blaney's finished 9th or better in each of his last 3 trips. Plus, Blaney's minus 118 on DraftKings in this exact same matchup. So once again, Fox Bet, if you're looking for some value on some lines, Fox Bet has you covered, because plus 100 in comparison to minus 118 definitely adds up if you're saving 18 cents of juice all the time.
Yep.
And Elliott just has not run well here in the past. He hasn't run well lately, besides winning the All-Star race. And Blaney, he has run well lately. I know that he didn't do amazingly last week. He looked really good for a while before his car kind of got a little bit too loose for him. But he has run well here in the past, and he has run well lately. So I get the driver in better form with a better track history at plus 100. I'll take Blaney over Elliott at plus 100.
I think it's a fair play indeed. Willie, what do you got?
Well, for my what is this? My second prop. I got a double play, and it's going to be Martin Truex on stage 1 and stage 2. He's 12-1 for stage 1 and 10-1 for stage 2. And my theory behind this is, if you like Truex this weekend, which I do, we've seen that when he wins, he tends to get out kind of early and just kind of cruise to a win, so to speak. He kind of likes to just get out and build leads. So, you know, I'll take it. I like those prices for him for both stages, honestly.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I didn't see where Truex is. Truex is starting 11th, so didn't draw a great spot there. Could be gonna have to pedal hard to get to stage 1, but I like him there at stage 2 at plus 1,000. That's a good price indeed. All right, solid. All right, and for my last prop, let's see if I can match Scott here. I'm going to go with the veteran Clint Boyer over Matt DiBenedetto at minus 115. DiBenedetto, again, we did this at least last race or a couple races ago where he'd been terrible, and he actually broke through. but I'm going to book him again. He has not been good at this track, and I think that continues. He's just has one top 10 finish in his 8 starts here. Give me the veteran Clint Bowyer over Matt DiBenedetto -115.
I'm fine with that play as well. I don't have it personally, but DiBenedetto has. We talk about fading youngsters on this track, and Bowyer, even though he's kind of the forgotten veteran who's currently on the circuit right now, he has been pretty good here historically. So yeah, that play doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. All right, and Scott, who do you have for your third and final, your third? I don't know how many props you got this week. How many for your third prop? Who you got?
Well, I'll count this as 4 props. Technically, it's 6, but 2 of them are basically the same thing, and I'm hedging on both sides. So the other one, I'm going to go back to the manufacturer prop, which I always do. I'm going to take Harvick to be top Ford at +160 on DraftKings, and I'm going to hedge that by taking Brad Keselowski top Ford at +450. So I kind of created a little hedge scenario there because I got Blaney in a matchup. I got Keselowski top Ford at +450 and Harvick top Ford at +160. So if Blaney wins top Ford, I'll be upset, but I'll most likely win the matchup. So it's not the end of the world. But Harvick and Keselowski for me are the 2 best Fords on this track. And I expect Harvick to win this thing, but Keselowski at 450 is a little bit too juicy for me not to take.
Yeah, I think that's a solid price for sure on that one. All right, very good. What else you got?
So the other one, I'm going back to some props that I was doing a couple weeks ago, and I won both times. I'm going to be fading the Chevys this week. I'm going to be taking Ford to win at +120 on Fox Bet, and I'm going to take Toyota to win at +155 on Fox Bet for 2 units apiece. So pretty big deal. If Chevy does not win, and the best Chevy this entire season for the most part has been Chase Elliott, and he's been terrible here. So the Fords have dominated on this track alongside the Toyotas. And if the Fords win, I'm free rolling nice 0.4 units. And if Toyota wins, I'm free rolling roughly 1.1 units of profit. So for that reason, I'm just going to fade the Chevys here. They just have not been good on this track.
Okay. What'd you get the Toyotas at?
Toyotas were +155 on Fox Bet, and Ford was +120 on Fox Bet. Do you have any thoughts on those? Because I really don't like the Chevys on this track.
I had Ford at +110, and that didn't interest me. I didn't think there was quite enough value there. Picking up Ford at +120, yeah, I don't hate that. We very profitable season for fading the Chevys.
I know recently they did well, but that's mostly on the mile and a halves. They really have not done well on these shorter tracks.
No, I like that play. Picking up, and doubling up, so you're picking up an extra unit there. So
it's either 0.4 or if Toyota wins, I make 1.1 or so. So yeah, I'm rooting for Toyota, but in reality, as long as Chevy doesn't win, I'll be a happy customer.
Well, you got your Hamlin there, so a nice Hamlin victory would.
I got Hamlin in, and yeah, I got Hamlin there. You guys have Truex, so I got a lot of. I got Eric Jones as well, so it could be a potentially very profitable weekend if Toyota is able to get the job done.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Willie, bring us home.
Well, I'll empty out the bag by going back to a driver that we were just talking about a few minutes ago, and Clint Bowyer. His top 10 price is very disrespectful, I feel like, this week. He's at +130 on DraftKings for a top 10 finish here. And, there's not a lot of tracks that Clint has wins on, but he has 2 here. He's got 4 top 5s, and he's ran here 26 times and finished in the top 10 and right under a third of those times. So, or actually right over a third of those times. 9 out of his 26 starts has been a top 10 finish. So, at +130, you can't pass up that opportunity.
I'm trying to see if there's a better one on Fox Bet, but I can't really argue with that because same reason why I agreed with Scott taking Bowyer in that matchup prop. He's kind of the forgotten veteran, and he has done pretty well here, to say the least, in his career. I see Bowyer top 10 at +175 on Fox Bet.
There you go, buddy.
That's juicy.
There you go. All right, yeah, I'm a big Bowyer fan at this one. I don't think he's going to break through for the win. But I think a top 10 finish is certainly.
It's definitely feasible.
Yeah, definitely right in his wheelhouse for this one. All right, boys, there you go. All over but the running right there, kids. So it's should be a fun weekend. 301. It's always fun as they run that extra lap there. And, I know there's a story behind it. I don't remember what it is. At one point in my life, I knew the story. Willie, you know the story on that?
I have no idea. I'm sure it's just another one of those things where they're doing, they're this year where they're doing some are going by kilometers, some they're going by miles, some they're going by laps. You never really know these days.
Right. Well, you do with this one because it's a mile-long track, so you know it's going to be the same. They run that 301. I know there's a reason behind it, but yeah, they
makes them different.
It does. It makes them different. By the way, that's going to be 301 laps and miles. So, running a fairly long race as the races go, because sometimes you get the like the Kansas race was 400. Of course, that was 400 laps at a mile and a half. So,
well, you can make the argument though that the fewer cautions are going to be getting might make the race go a little bit, at least feel a little bit faster over the course.
Yeah, it's true, and sure they have the competition caution built in as well as the stage. I'm guessing the stages are going to be what 90, 90, and 121.
Probably, if I had to take a guess. I mean, I know usually stages 1 and 2 are roughly the same amount.
Yeah, they don't like to even them out. They like that stage 3 to be a little bit longer. So
as it should be, because it's the most important one.
Agreed. Yeah, so I'm guessing it's going to be in 90, 91.
Yeah. Plus, you've also had some really late cautions and a bunch of cautions in those mile and a halves. So the race might have seemed a little bit longer over the last couple of weeks, just because of the fact that you had needed roughly 4 restarts in the last 20 laps.
Yeah.
Which you will definitely not get that on this track.
I don't think so. No,
yeah.
I don't think so at all. All right, gentlemen. Well, I think we've acquitted ourselves well. We've got some a little chalky this week, but I think it's going to be a chalky race. I think that's the way it is. I think the veterans are going to shine here. Certainly possible that one of the youths could sneak in, but I like the veteran presence at this tricky mile-long racetrack. The track too tough to tame is the moniker for this track. So, all right, very good, boys. Hey, Willie, thanks for getting up and thanks for joining us here today, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad we can keep the NASCAR going so we can wrap up this competition.
Yeah, it's fun. We were worried as they kind of did a little reorg there as all the seasons got started that we were going to leave NASCAR on the wayside, but we did not do that, Scott. You and I went out and fought pretty hard to keep our NASCAR show going. So
took about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was good. So Scotty, thanks for being here today. Appreciate it.
Yep, always. I got to try to keep the trophy spot on my mantle, so I got to do whatever I can to stay in first place.
I'm dusting that mantle, boys. It's coming to me. That's all I can say. So, all right, gentlemen, appreciate it as always, and we appreciate you guys stopping by to watch us here on NASCAR Now. We always have a lot of fun, and it's always great to be able to share our thoughts with each and every one of you. So, congratulations, guys! It's Saturday. You made it to the weekend. Way to go, everybody! Should be some fun. Some good weather out there. Not a lot. Big swaths of America where it's not real hot. So get out there, have some fun, socially distanced, of course, put your mask on. And, but yeah, get out there and get a little fresh air and have a little fun this weekend with the family. All right. For me, for all those over here at WinnersandWhiners.com, reminding you to don't forget to stop by and check out WinnersandWhiners.com. Now that we're back to 3 major sports, we always have each and every game covered for you over there with deep dives into every contest going on every single day. Plus, I know Willie's still throwing up great esports content. Soccer's going on over there in Europe as well. So check out Valdis. I know he's writing some soccer stuff. Scott, anything else? What am I missing?
No, that's all I can think of. I know I ended up posting 2 plays of the day and 2 separate videos. So if you want to check that out for Scout Selections, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yep.
And other than that, a lot of sports coming up over the weekend. I'm thrilled that after months of having no sports to talk about whatsoever, we finally have a lot upon us. And hopefully baseball does not completely implode. But the NBA is back. NHL playoffs or qualifying rounds, whatever you want to call it, are actually underway right now.
Right.
And, yeah, a lot of stuff. You got UFC tonight as well. Good time to be a sports fan right now.
Yep, good time to have that extra TV. So, yeah, it's been a hoot as well, and it's again we've transitioned from the Deep Three to Scott and I's daily show. So if you're a fan of the Deep Three, stop by and check out Today in Sports Betting. We still have all the fun. Plus, I have a little sidekick there, which is always a blast. He's a good straight man. So, for myself, for Scott Reichel, for Winning Willie. We appreciate everybody stopping by. Have a great weekend. Good luck on all of your plays. Hope you guys make nothing but money today. And we'll be back to talk to you again on Monday. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy it. And we'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye.